Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about the number one topic everybody likes to talk about, which is robotic affirming. And right off the bat, everyone wants to know, does it work? And my answer to that is yes, it does work. But I'm going to explain a little bit more. Don't just go right off of my answer there, because there's people that it might work for and people that it may not work for, depending on what type of person you are, what works for you. But I'm just going to let you guys know, as I say in other videos, any technique can work for you. Any technique works. And the reason any technique works is because you already have the thing that you want. You already are whole. You are the universe. You are everything. Creation is finished. Imagination creates reality. Imagination is reality. Everything that you see in front of you is you, and everything that does not exist or just has not manifested yet, it does actually exist. It just, you can't see it, is also you. So there's no really getting something. You already have everything that you need. You already have all of your desires. It's just that you can't physically see it because they are not manifested. You're just experiencing the portion that you have manifested. So once again, it does not really matter which technique you use. As long as you know that it's working and you believe in it, then that's what's going to work for you. But I will say that robotic affirming is definitely a great way to manifest for people who are newer to this or have trouble sort of visualizing things or having faith in exactly what they're doing. I find that this is a good technique for beginners or anyone like this to sort of get you in the zone and starting to believe more in yourself and in manifesting, because that's the number one thing more than anything, is building up your belief. If you can build up your belief in what you're doing, then any technique's going to start working for you, which is kind of where I got to. At the point where I am now, I know that manifesting works. I know that it's real. I've seen it enough times that I can use any technique, and I'm positive that eventually it's going to manifest in my physical world. With that being said, I went through a phase of robotic affirming, and I'm going to talk to you guys about what results I saw with it, how I was affirming, and we will kind of go from there. So if you don't want to hear sort of my backstory to this first, then feel free to skip ahead. I'll try to put timestamps in this video, but if you want to, then stick around. So basically, as everyone does, I was searching robotic affirming after I first heard about it. I think I saw it in a YouTube video, and then I found, of course, Sammy Ingram. She's very well known for it, and I give her all the credit for it. I think she's built something really amazing from it, and she really knows what she's talking about. I learned a lot from being in her group on Facebook. I was in that group. I actually made a lot of posts in that group that were helpful posts back when you could post for help. So I was basically coaching within her group, which I probably shouldn't have been doing. But anyways, I followed her techniques, and I did do the 10,000 affirmation challenge at one point in my life. And I will say that, first off, it was not fun. Sort of drove myself a little bit mad doing it. I wouldn't really recommend it if you're someone who's going to get obsessive over your desire, or you feel like it's going to make you feel kind of crazy to try and affirm that many times, because what you don't want to do is stress yourself out when you're trying to manifest something. I'm telling you, the technique that's going to work best for you is one that makes you feel calm, because feeling calm is the key to manifesting what you want. Feeling neutral about it, feeling calm, that is the way to manifest. So if you're feeling stressed out when you're manifesting something, you're putting yourself in like a needy or wanting energy, so you're not going to be as likely to manifest the thing you want. But with that being said, when you're affirming that many times, you are definitely saturating your subconscious mind. I know someone had commented about this topic, saturating your subconscious mind. Do you have to do that? And I feel like my answer would be yes, but it's not as hard as you think it would be once again you build up the belief in yourself, because your subconscious mind is constantly listening. We always think we have to affirm a million times just to get our subconscious mind to believe something, but really it only takes one thought or one time affirming something and our subconscious mind will hear that. But the issue is oftentimes we have opposite beliefs that are so strong that our subconscious mind constantly hears us think about, that we constantly feel. We always feel this opposite, or we feel this negative, like it's not going to work out. So when we're affirming all the time, we're not really doing it because we need to saturate our mind with this one thought. We're doing it so that we can drown out the negative thought that keeps repeating. That's why when we want to manifest things that seem more difficult to us, then we have to affirm more for it, because we have this other belief that's constantly just playing on repeat in our head, even when we don't really know it, right? Like sometimes it just comes out of nowhere and you don't want to think that thought, but it comes up, right? So in terms of saturating your subconscious mind, once again, it really isn't that hard to get your subconscious mind to pick up on something. It literally does it all the time. If you start paying attention to reality, everything that you see in front of you is something your subconscious mind has picked up on and you've manifested it. It happens all the time. Like, go look at a picture of an apple or a thunderstorm or something, and you're going to end up manifesting that at some point in your reality. You might not notice it. It might come about in a strange way, but you will manifest that into reality at some point, because your subconscious mind is always listening all the time. It picks up on way more than your conscious mind. Anyways, back to the concept of the 10,000 affirmation challenge. So when I was doing that, I felt like, of course, crazy. Like I said, it was a lot of affirming, and I did complete it. I probably did more than 10,000 affirmations. And did my desire show up right after that? No, it didn't. I was very frustrated, actually. I was probably the most frustrated I ever was because of all the affirmations that I'd done, and I felt like, at this point I should be here. And this was back when I was still learning, so I just didn't fully understand the whole concept of when you're affirming for something, no matter how many times you're going to affirm for it, you better be believing that what you're affirming for, you already have. Okay? You already have the thing, no matter what technique you're doing. You're not affirming to get anything. I say this in all my videos. You're affirming to remind yourself that it is already yours, that it exists within you. It exists as part of you, because your imagination creates reality. Your imagination is reality. What you see in front of you is you. It comes from you. It is just the manifested portion of imagination that you're seeing in front of you. So at any time, you can choose to manifest a different portion of imagination, and that will be eventually what you see in front of you. So the stuff that you can't see, it's just as real as what you can see. It's just not manifested, okay? That's why I say you already have the thing, because it's there, it's in your mind, it just hasn't manifested in physical form, so you feel like you don't have it. So when you're saying these affirmations, you're just reminding yourself, oh yeah, I have that thing already. You can see it in your imagination, or you can affirm for an imagination, you have it. That's all you're doing. So back then, I didn't really understand this concept, so I was affirming thinking like I'm going to see movement in my physical world, and I wasn't, and I was getting really frustrated all the time. And so eventually I just gave up, right? Like I just stopped trying, because I was just so done after doing that. I'm like, well, I've done everything, I've affirmed a million times, so I'm not even gonna bother anymore. And of course, right when I did that, that's when I started seeing movement in my physical world, because I was telling myself, my subconscious mind, oh yeah, I already have that thing. I don't need to affirm for it anymore. And because I'd affirmed for it so many times already, my mind was really keen on that specific thought. And as soon as I let go of the need to continuously affirm for it more, my mind was like so already, I don't know how to say it, it's like primed to believe that one affirmation. So it's kind of hard to explain, but the more that you affirm for something, the more that you're setting your mind up to believe that when you do let go. If you affirm tons and then you're able to actually spend a day not affirming, 2 days not affirming, you're able to distract your mind, you're able to go about your life in a normal way, just affirming on the odd occasion when the thought does come up, then that's going to be a really great way to manifest. Like, you can manifest quite quickly if you affirm lots, but then give your mind a break. And this is what I talk about in one of my first videos on this channel. I think it's the first or second one. I talk about how I affirm, kind of both of those videos, but I'd recommend to watch them, because that's sort of my technique now, is that I have certain times a day where I'll affirm a bit, and then I sort of just throughout the day go about my day like normal, and I'll affirm, if a thought comes up, but I'm not crazy about it anymore. And that's what you need to do, because you have to give your mind downtime. You have to give yourself downtime. If you're constantly in the wanting energy, then you're not going to receive what it is that you're looking for. It will always come up, when you are distracted doing something else, when you are quite literally in the present moment, which I talk about in my other videos. When you're in the present moment, that is when things will manifest. When you were involved in your life, when you were participating in your life, that is when it will manifest. And so if you've done a lot of affirming for something and you haven't seen it show up in your life, I recommend trying to let go for a while. Affirm only if it comes up, casually, and go back to your life. Go back to doing whatever you're doing. Be present in the moment, and just know that eventually it will show up. Like, I'm going to tell you, if you've affirmed a lot for something, eventually it's going to show up in your reality. Just know that, okay? Like, no matter what, at some point, it could be a year later. I know that doesn't please everyone, but at some point it's going to show up because you're going to let go at some point. You're not going to think about it for the rest of your life, so it will show up. So yes, robotic affirming is a great way to saturate your mind if you are also able to let go at some point. But you don't need to affirm a million times. It's so unnecessary. It can be helpful at the beginning when you're trying to build up your belief, but once you get good at knowing that you already have the thing that you're trying to affirm for, then you can kind of go about it in a more natural way and affirm less. And the best way to affirm is a way that feels natural to you, that feels calming to you, because the best state to manifest from is a calm, relaxed, neutral state. So if you're feeling neutral about something, as in, this is why also robotic affirming can work if you're doing things like washing dishes or cleaning your house or doing kind of like things like driving. If you're just affirming then sort of in the back of your mind, very calmly, just saying the same thing over and over, you're not really giving it much emotion. This is actually good because you're staying very neutral about it. You're not really in a super wanting energy. You're just saying the thing over and over and you're super neutral about it. You have this calmness to you when you're affirming. Like, if I can give any advice, it would be when you're affirming for something or visualizing something, feel calm when you do it. Feel very relaxed and don't force this. Just be neutral, because think about how you feel about, say, I don't know, your phone in your hand right now, or the hat that you have on, or the couch that you're sitting on. How do you feel about it, that you have it? Say, I have this couch. How does that make you feel? That should be exactly how you feel about this other thing that you want. You should feel the same way, okay? Because you want to make it as similar to your current state as you can. Like, when you are affirming for something, it's almost like you want to bring it into your current state. How are you feeling right now about everything else that you have? Make that the same feeling that you feel about the thing you're affirming for, okay? If you can do this, this is the best way to affirm. So just know when you're robotic affirming, it really is kind of robotic. It's not meant to be highly emotional. You're not meant to really feel the words unless you want to. But you can be very present in the moment when you're affirming, as in it's sort of in the back of your mind, but you're still going about your day doing mundane things. That's kind of a good time to affirm, I find. But yeah, just keep it simple is all I can say. Don't overcomplicate it, and just know that every time you're doing it, you're doing it the right way. Just feel that, okay? Don't stress yourself out. If ever you're affirming and you start to feel stressed by it, you need to affirm, then stop doing it. Don't affirm if it stresses you out, because that's going to give you the opposite result that you want. Do a different technique then, or just honestly, just let it go completely. If you start to get stressed out or start to overthink it, let it go. Anytime that you are doing any technique or trying to manifest something, and again, I hate when I say trying to manifest, because that's something that I don't believe in. We don't manifest things. We already have everything. We're just simply selecting what it is we want to experience. But whenever you are doing any technique, whenever you are affirming, visualizing, scripting, whatever it is, and you're wondering if you're doing it right, you're wondering what else to do, if there's something else you should do, then the best thing I can tell you is to just shut off your mind. Let it go. As in, you don't have to let go of the desire itself, but clear your mind. Go do something else. Go for a walk with your friends. Go hang out with someone. Don't force anything. The best thing you can do when you're struggling and you don't know what to do next is to give your mind a break, because you will always receive some form of guidance or a better feeling if you just give your mind time to relax. And the best way to do that really is to go into meditation and sort of clear your thoughts, as in not really paying attention to any specific thought, just sort of letting them drift through like clouds, as some people say, and just sort of observing your thoughts. And this doesn't have to be like sitting in meditation. This could be like you washing the dishes and just like kind of whatever thought comes up, you just don't really give it much attention. It's just like, that's a thought, okay? That's a good way to sort of clear a mind. But some people can't do that, or they struggle with sort of not paying attention to every single thought. So a great way to do the same thing is to just, once again, do some sort of activity that involves your brain power. Like it could be something where you have to pay attention, like driving or skiing, or I don't know, something where your brain has to be in use, you know? But all I can say is, if you are finding yourself stressing about which technique to use and not knowing if you've done enough, then what you need to do is just calm your mind. Go do something relaxing. Watch a movie, like chill out. That's all I could say. Sometimes less is more with manifestation, really, because if you think about the things that you don't even try to manifest, like the little random things, you put no thought into those things. It was like one thought and done. That's kind of the way you want to be about your manifestations in general. It's just very neutral, very calm about it. The best way to manifest is to think of something that you already have, that you manifested maybe even by accident, not even really think about it, like a friend calling you or someone, I don't know, says something that you thought about the day before. Like, think about how hard was that to manifest that. Like, that is the difficulty level that it should be to manifest your other desires as well. Like, you should be just so chill about things. It really is just about being chill. Just like, yeah, I have that thing. Once again, how do you feel right now about the things you already have? That is the same way you should feel about your desire. You don't have to force any feelings. You can have positive feelings about the things you want to manifest. That's totally okay if you affirm and it makes you feel excited or you feel good, because that's just a higher frequency. That's fine if you want to feel that. But if it makes you feel negative or makes you feel like you don't have it, then don't keep affirming for it. Take a break, you know? Affirm when you're in a good mood, or affirm when you're, once again, like distracted, kind of doing something else. Anyways, I feel like I've kind of gone off on a bit of a tangent in this video again, so I apologize to you guys for that when we were talking about robotic affirming. But I will also say too, my results with robotic affirming, I meant to say this earlier in the video, I guess now I'm saying it here, but when I was affirming, at one point I affirmed for $10,000. That was one of my affirmations. And this was actually one that I paid less attention to. This was not the one that I used the 10,000 affirmation challenge for. I just kind of affirmed for it sometimes. It was one that I sort of said, you know, on the odd occasion. And of course, that was the one that manifested, was the one that I put less focus on. And so I ended up receiving, it was like a month later when I'd kind of forgotten about it too. I ended up receiving a check from my grandparents randomly. Like, they have never sent me a check of this much money ever in my life. And they just said, we were really proud of like your business and everything, and we just wanted to help. And so they sent me a check for $10,000 out of nowhere. And it was so unexpected. Like, my parents didn't even know why they sent it to me. So that was one that came true. And then another one too was, I was always doing it for business related things. I did it for other areas of my life as well, but this was just an area that I focused a lot on. But business was another one. I was affirming that my sales would be over $500 a day on my one store, and they surpassed that. I had more than $500 sales a day on my store, so that came true. And then also another thing I had not robotic affirmed for, although I did say it sometimes, I had actually written this down on a board in my office and sort of just left it. So I guess it was kind of like scripting, but I really only wrote it like one time and then would kind of look at it every day. Was I wrote, I will make $100,000 a year. This was about 3 years ago I wrote this, and I didn't even realize it to the end of the year, but I ended up making almost exactly $100,000 that year in revenue. And then since then it's been obviously more than that, but it was really nice my first year. And then I'd also drawn a picture of like a vacation that I wanted to take on this board, and I ended up manifesting that exact vacation as well the same year. So it's really crazy what you can manifest when you just sort of set it and forget it as well. So that's also a technique that I like, is write it down and just forget about it. And it's not like you have to force yourself to forget about it, but eventually over time you will, if you just write it down somewhere and you just sort of move on with your life. Like eventually it's kind of nice to look back on as well and realize the things that you have manifested. So I do recommend writing down your goals, writing them in the present tense, and even if you don't read them ever again, like just do that at least once, because it's really interesting to look back and see what has manifested. And you can write a bunch of things. You can even forget about the little ones that you've written down. Anyways, that's just another thing that I wanted to say. That's pretty much what I have to say about robotic affirming. It works. If you want to do it, you can do it. It's a great, I find, like a beginner technique, or to build up your belief. And I do think no matter what, affirmations will always be a huge part of manifestation, even for myself. I affirm throughout the day, but the way that I affirm now is very relaxed. It's not like I affirm a million times. I affirm maybe once or twice when I think about it, and I'm just very calm, and I just am in the present moment, and I just go back to my reality, doing what I'm doing, knowing I already have that thing. I'm just reminding myself that I have it. So that is kind of like the point where I would recommend you try to get to, is just being very relaxed about it and realizing there's no exact number you have to say. Your subconscious mind will pick up on it no matter what. If you believe it will, it will. Also, one last thing too, I just want to mention in case anyone asks about this, but looping affirmations, does that work? Yes, I've done that. The Parrot app, as many people will use, that works as well. You can loop them as you're sleeping. I found it annoying, so I couldn't do that. It just would bother me at night, so I never looped them at night. But some people really, really like that, and it can be very helpful to loop them at nighttime. So if you're okay with that, if you don't mind it, then I would recommend doing that. You can loop them throughout the day, but honestly, in my own opinion, I find that just saying them in my head is enough. Like, I like doing that better than looping affirmations, but some people really like it. And once again, it doesn't really matter. If it makes you feel good, if it's easier for you to just loop them in the background or something, then do that. Whatever makes you feel calm, whatever makes you feel the most like this is working or relaxed about it, then do that. Honestly, if you can take away anything from this video, do the technique that makes you feel the most calm and the most neutral about it, that doesn't stress you out, that just allows you to just be like, all right, that was it. That's chill. Like, I believe it's done. I'm going to believe in it. And then you just move on with your life. Like, it's just whatever makes you feel the most relaxed about it and helps you believe the most in your desire. That is the technique that you should be doing. And if you like no techniques, you can do that as well. You affirm for it once and you just trust in the universe, because as I've said in a comment, I believe, sorry about my cat there. As I've said in a comment, your subconscious mind, aka your higher self, it does not forget things, okay? You already have the things that you desire. It knows what you desire. So don't worry about affirming for it all the time. Don't worry about like, oh, I think I might have forgotten. I should probably remind it today. It already knows. It literally already knows. It's looking at you as like a little kid, like, yes, I've already heard you say this 20 times, 10,000 times to me. I have not forgotten about your desire. Trust me, I'm just waiting for you to chill out so that I can take the lead and bring it in for you. You know, that's what it's like with your subconscious mind. That's why I say you need to let go, because the subconscious mind just wants to help you. And it's like, it can't help you if you're constantly asking for the thing, because it needs to just have full faith and trust for it to be able to do anything for you, for it to be able to move forward. Because every time that you doubt and you feel the need to affirm, and again, I'm not saying affirming is bad. I'm only saying when you're affirming out of fear, when you affirm out of fear, that's like telling your subconscious mind, I don't believe that you can do this thing. I don't believe that you've already heard my message. And so your subconscious mind goes, okay, I don't believe it. Yeah. And I haven't heard your message. Like, it just believes what you're believing. So realize that letting go is a really, really big part of it. And it's kind of like you just have to put your faith in the unseen. That's the biggest thing, is you have to put your faith in that, and you have to just trust it. And that's the hardest thing for people. But once you do it enough times, and you practice this, I promise you it becomes easier because your belief will build and you will just know that no matter what, it will manifest, okay? Anyways, this is gonna be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you like this video. I feel like, once again, it was a lot of talking about random topics within one video. I tend to do this, so I apologize in advance for this, but thank you all for your support on this channel. It is growing very quickly since I've begun this channel. This is something that I've wanted to do for quite some time, is start a channel on manifesting, because if any of you don't really know me from other platforms, I was on Reddit for quite a while, and I was writing a lot of posts on Reddit under a different username. I was also in Sammy's group under a different username, anonymous, for quite some time, writing posts there, in other Neville Goddard groups, and then also I was receiving like thousands of questions on Reddit all the time from people asking about my posts and asking if they could get help from me, so I figured I would start making these videos to make it easier. And I did have another channel before this, but I wanted to start fresh, so that is why I've started this channel, because I did have someone comment and say, I thought you were so good at manifesting, why does your channel have like no views or no subscribers? And I was like, well, I just started it like 3 weeks ago, so it's very new. I think it's doing pretty well so far. So anyways, thank you guys again, and I will see you all in the next one, right? Bye.